Today we're painting our Vintage Valentine postcard. We'll show it in two ways. We have a color map with everything mapped out. That's for our senior living line. And then we're showing how you can do it with just the tape. And you can tape everything according to how we have it here. And you can leave the easels and the heart outline and the heart, engraved heart, off to the side. So we're going to start with painting with warm white or whatever white you have over the white pieces. And if you get paint in your engraved lines, you can carve it out a little bit with a sharp tool. But if you go with light coats, it will be perfect for not going into those engraved lines for you. And then paint the other pieces on this tape. And then we're going to let that dry, so set that off to the side. And we're going to paint our other pieces, starting with the hearts and the flower. That's going to be with wild berry, but you could use any dark pink that you may have on hand. You don't necessarily have to use our suggestions, but just a darker value of pink. And you're going to paint that flower and those hearts again with a new sponge and go over those pieces. And it's okay if it's not perfectly coated. We're going to go back over it. So you can see that that center piece of the white is going to go in the middle of that flower. So you can just cover the whole thing. It's okay. And then for the top piece, we're going to go in with our baby blush and paint the postage stamp outline and the heart outline. And with Blue Haven, we're going to paint the little seal, the postage seal that goes on that postcard later. Now we're going to address these easels and these other little heart pieces. And this is a technique that we like to use with a baby wipe. You don't have to do it this way. You can use a sponge and just paint the whole thing. But if you dab a little bit of baby wipe and a little bit of burnt umber and kind of wipe over your pieces, it makes it look like it's stained. So we kind of like to do this for just a little bit of a different technique and a different effect on your painted pieces. So again, you can just cover it with a sponge, or you can just wipe it on, and it goes on nice and fast too. So that's another plus to this technique. So you can kind of see it kind of looks like stained wood, and you can just go right over these pieces. And the nice thing about this too is you can go heavier in spots and lighter in certain spots, and it kind of gives it an aged look. And now we're just going to go back over everything and see what needs a second or maybe a third coat. When you're coating white, it does take a while to cover that, so that's perfectly normal. But as the white gets a little brighter, you can see the words kind of popping out a little bit. They're more of a contrast there. So just go over everything and give everything another coat. And then you can take off the little heart pieces and set them to the side and flip your easel stand over and do the baby wipe method on the other side. You can also take that same baby wipe, if desired, and kind of lightly brush against the edges of the postcard to give it a little bit of a antiqued look. But this one is totally optional. And if you mess it up, just have another clean baby wipe handy and you can just wipe off your paint if you don't like it. but it just gives it a little aged look. So now we're going to go in with a liner brush and paint our stripes. So we're going to alternate with blue, red, or in this case, the wild berry. And we'll alternate the Blue Haven, wild berry, and white to give it a striped airmail look, a vintage airmail look. So you're going to do that on both of these pieces. So now you can take everything off of your paper or your tape and we start assembling. So you start gluing everything down, your little seal, put the little hearts on there. Add your postage square and then the pieces that go inside of that. Your big heart and your engraved heart, put the flower on top with the flower center. And your airmail stripes on the top and the bottom. And then at this point you can leave it alone, or you can come in with that liner brush and some watered down white paint and just give some little lines or highlights. You can brush some things on there to give it a little bit more detail if you would like. But it's perfectly adorable without the line work. So now you can assemble the two pieces of your easel together and display your project.